Hey, what's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On Hot7025FM.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Hey, it's Icarice, and I'm here to tell you about Hotcast for Podcasting. We are a podcasting studio located in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Hot 702.5 FM studios. You can book online at hot7025fm.com. Just click on Hotcast. You can book and find your times right there. Thank you for booking with Hotcast for Podcasting.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on Hot7025FM.com.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
What it do, y'all? We in this thing like a wedgie, baby. Yeah, we post birthday. We post birthdays broadcast today, man. So, all y'all that know, I appreciate all the love and salutations. What's up there, Critty BB? What's up, Dakarai Kofi? Man, my number one listener there, man, one of my biggest surprises of the past weekend that we just kind of went through. Lucy Lowe, what's up with you, babe? Yeah, so a couple people out there that if y'all didn't know, now you know. If you've been underneath a rock or something like that, ain't been checking out any of my social media sets, then you would know that it was my birthday. But it was my birthday on Friday. But it went through the entire weekend. So big ups to all the people that was in attendance. All the homies came in town and surprised me, man. Shocked me. Y'all know old man Hart can't really take all that, man. Somebody was in there cutting onions, all kind of stuff, man. You know how that stuff go. But yeah, it was a wonderful time. I appreciated all of those who were in attendance, whether it was Friday at the Wine Garden or Cork and Thorn, or whether it was Saturday at Chinita's or Candelabra, or whether it was Sunday out there at Desert Pines at the golf course. Wherever you came and kicked it with your main man, 360 the poet, a.k.a. the atmosphere pioneer, a.k.a. the homie who you like to holla at. I appreciate all those who came to holla at the homie. So we speaking about that today, hollering at the homie. And we got a good one on deck today, y'all. But I always like to let y'all know and give y'all my disclaimer. We are at the number one place for advice, the number one, whether online or in person, advice column that you can find is right here on hot7025fm.com or on a Facebook or Instagram live _360 the poet, THAPOET. Make sure you spell it right because it means something. Tenacity, heart, and attitude present opportunities every time. That's what all that means in that order. But I always like to let y'all know I've never been trained. I've taken a couple of psychology classes. That was prerequisites to try to get into whatever major I was picking on at the time. And I've never been in any counseling classes, any psychology, psychiatry training. But what I have done is like to let y'all know I've lived a colorful life, a very colorful life. And through that, I've learned some things, watched some things transpire, and sponged up a lot of game. And I squeeze it back out here to y'all each and every week on hot7025fm.com, on Holla at the homie. And if y'all need some of that, we got this Holla at the Homie apparel. Make sure you hit me at hollaatthehomie@gmail.com, and I'll show you, or hit me on Facebook, Instagram, and I'll get you the directions on how to get that to the web page, because it's almost finished and ready to rock. But in the meantime, between time, we can still get those orders out for you. So there it is. We got all that business out the way. So what y'all doing? Where y'all at? And where y'all at? What are y'all doing while y'all there? So I need to know these things, because we here, and I got my online colleagues, as always. Always appreciate all y'all that help in and tune in and tap in. Would you say you want one ASAP? We got you. Would you say size you need large? We got you. Send me the DM what size you need, and give me an email address so I can get my correspondents to correspond with you in the email. So there it is. So we're gonna do it like this right here. Today we got a good one, y'all. And it's a place where we like to keep it real. And that's what we're doing today. We're keeping it real. We like to lift each other up. We like to make sure nobody stays down for too long. And today we got a letter from a friend who's trying to look out for a friend, looking out for his boy. What's up, Pammy T-Ori? I forgot how to say the extra part of your name, but I know your real last name. I ain't going to give up your government. Tell Brother Mo I said, what up? He said, in Cali chilling with your mama. Okay, that's what's up. I got you. That's what's happening. But yeah, Pammy, I appreciate you for coming out this weekend too. But we got somebody looking out for it. Hey boy, today. It's some fellas today. They let it be known as the fellas. They typed in. They say, hey man, the homie need to holler at you. So they struggling after a rough breakup. Right? So what's going on? Okay, I see you on here, man. I was just talking to somebody about you, dog. Miss you being out. Miss your energy at the gig, man. Good to see you. Okay. Michael K. Kudla in this thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we do it. But we got somebody trying to call me in. He said my homeboy's in a rut, and he's questioning whether he's worth being even, getting in love, falling in love again, and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? So somebody by the name of Concerned Friend. I want to say Concerned Friend, you a real one. You a solid one. You know what I mean? But we're going to get into your letter, and we're going to break it down just a little bit for you. Like, it goes a little something like this. Dear Holla at the Homie, I'm writing you about my boy who's been stuck in a deep rut ever since his engagement ended in heartbreak. His fiancée cheated, and it shattered his confidence in ways I never expected. This man has everything going for him. He's got the looks, the finances, the faith, the whole package. But right now, none of that seems to matter to him. He doesn't feel like he's anyone's quote-unquote cup of tea, or even worthy of being one. Now, I've tried everything to remind him of exactly who he is. I've hyped him up. I've reassured him and encouraged him to get back out there. But it's like my words just bounce off. He's stuck in his head, convinced that he's not desirable or worth dating anymore, or that dating is completely pointless altogether. I get that healing takes time, and I don't want to push him before he's ready, but I also don't want to see him waste away in his self-doubt when I know he's capable of finding real love with someone who truly deserves him. So I'm turning to you all. Now, how do I help my homie see the way that the rest of us do, see himself the way the rest of us do? How do I get him to believe that he is worthy, that he is someone's perfect match, and that his past does not define his future? Because coming from me is just not clicking with him. I appreciate any advice you can throw my way. Sincerely, a concerned friend. What up, Antoine Rashad? What up, Tita? What's going on? Hey, Tita, I need you in one of these Holla at the Homie sweatshirts, man. I need you in one, man, because I know you're a rep for the homie. I know you will, dog. I know you will, Tita. That's my dog. What's going on with you, Antoine Rashad? Excuse me. But yeah, that's a good question right here. So I want, like I said, concerned friend, you a real one. Because real friends don't let their friends just sit back and just, and let people suffer in silence, or they don't let they real people sit back and just wallow in their own misery. You know, that's the thing you got to kind of remember. Like, if you were just somebody who was just a passerby or somebody who he was just, an associate, he was just an associate of yours, I'm not sure that you would really be this invested in. And then again, I don't know you like that, so I don't know whether you would be this invested. But since the fact that it's one of your real friends, you said, this is my boy. This is my dog. This, you know what I mean? This is my roadie. I can't be having him around here chin to his chest all sad. So that's a real one, because like real people don't let their friends suffer like that. They speak life and they remind them of who they are. And that's the thing. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to remind him of exactly who he is. So let's talk about him for a little bit. You telling me that this man is the full package. You said he got it. You said he got it all. You said he got the finances, he got the looks, he got the faith, the whole nine. So if a woman looking for a God-fearing man to make his own money, that's a handsome catch or arm piece, then your friend is what you saying that he's got going on. And he just doesn't see himself through that lens anymore based off the fact that the woman who he gave his heart to decided to spin it around in the spin cycle. The woman that he gave it all, that he gave all of those things to say, like, I'm going to and let you embrace who I am with you, and I'm going to embrace who you are with me together. That person, that woman, that individual, they took that from him. They took the confidence associated with that from him. You know what I mean? So right now, his confidence is what you would consider as being shot. It's shot. It's man down, confidence shot. And right there is the key. That's the key. This isn't about getting him back in the dating game. It's about getting him back to himself. What'd you say, Christy? Where he at? What'd you say? God-fearing and all? Exactly. What's up, Derry Marie? What's up, little cuz? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't about getting him back in the game, Mr. Concerned Friend. So let's get that understood. Now, I'm hoping you do understand that. This is more about you getting him back to who he is, helping him understand and feel who he is to the world and how much the world really need his energy, right? So now let's break it down. So I would say step one involved in this would be like, you got to let him feel it. You have to let him feel and understand how you feel about him being in this position. But and you got to let him feel how he's feeling in the moment, but you can't let him live there. You can't let him wallow in that place, because in order to understand and how to grow from any scars that we have, in order to heal from any scars that we have to acknowledge both how we got them and how deep they go. You can't just put Neosporin and you need staples. It's just not going to work. We got to acknowledge that they happened, that I was cut. Okay, yes, I know I've been sliced. I'm wide open. I'm hemorrhaging. You know what I mean? I'm hemorrhaging. That's right, Chris. You trying to get me back right on this square, right? So I'm hemorrhaging. So now I got to recognize how deep is this cut? How do I get it back to where it is? So that's where he's at right now. He's feeling how deep this cut has got him, but you can't let him dwell there. You got to apply the pressure. You understand what I'm saying? You got to apply some pressure to him to help him understand, like, look, this is where you belong. This is where you are. So let him feel the pain, because he needs it. It's necessary in order for him to heal. But let him know that apply the pressure that you keeping this from being a ravine in his, metaphorically I'm speaking. I'm not saying he really bleeding and gushing and hemorrhaging, but in his mind, his confidence is hemorrhaging out of him based off this cut and how deep it is that his fiance inflicted. So now we got to figure out how to get him on the healing side, because heartbreak, especially when it comes to betrayal, like heartbreak is hard anyway. But when it's betrayal involved, like somebody completely did you way different than you imagine how they would ever do you, because you probably wouldn't have fallen for them in that way if you imagine that they could hurt you in the way that they did and betray you. Betrayal hits way different because it shakes you to your foundation. Betrayal is not a surface jab. Nah, dog. Betrayal is one of those ones that hits you hard. What up, Double J? Betrayal is one of those ones that hits you hard. It's not just going like it's not a love tap. Betrayal is a stab and twist. It's meant to inflict pain on you. People be like, I didn't mean to hurt you so bad, but in your betrayal, you knew that it would hurt me. So the fact that you were doing it was enough to say that you're lying about you didn't mean it. So now betrayal hits different. It shakes you to the foundation. It makes you question everything. So imagine that if your friend, because I'm always going to be on both shoulders. I'm going to be on both shoulders talking, in any way I can objectively speak about this. Imagine how you feel about your friend, that he's handsome, that he's got his bread together, that, he's got his faith together, that he's a full package, a catch. If you feel that way about him, in his life and before everything, he probably felt tenfold that way before she crushed him like that. So now it's making him question everything he felt 10 times worse than how you're feeling about him. So give him that allowance to feel it, but your job as being a good friend is to not let them dwell there. Because sometimes the worst part isn't losing a person. The worst part is losing the belief in that you should be loved in the way that you thought you were loved. So yeah, he's got to process that pain. He has to. You have to give him that allowance to process that pain. But what you can do is help him understand that pain is not permanent. That pain is not forever. You got to address the fact that, yes, healing does take time, but at some point, he's got to step forward. And that's where you come in. Yeah, exactly. We must give people their grace, Christy. Exactly. That's an excellent point. You have to give them their grace and give them that space. Give them that space. But at the same time, when it's time for him to step back forward, that's when you come in. Because, continue being that listening friend, but also the one who reminds them. Let him know, bruh. Let him know, bruh, you are more than what happened to you. You understand? You are more than what this situation is doing to you. You understand what I'm saying? This isn't this isn't a situation where you have to stay at. This is not. And you got to understand that. You got to help him understand that. He doesn't have to stay in this arena. But by allowing him to see that, if we speak in arenas and he feel like he cut gladiator down there, I'm in the sand, I'm dying. No, you really not. You not, but you hurt. You hurt, bruh. You hurt, but you still here. You hurt, but you still here. You got to give him that Miss Sophia speech, at the table. I sat in that jail. You sat in that house about right to death. He gonna hit you with that. I sat in that house about right to death, but when you call my phone, I know there's a God. You got to continue to encourage him so he can hit you with that Miss Sophia speech. But when I see your face, Miss Sealy, you got to be Sealy to Sophia. Continue to encourage him. But at the same time, in the distance, Miss Sealy knew Sophia was getting her butt whooped. He knew it. She told Harpo to do it. So, you know what I'm saying? So help him understand, yeah, I probably set you up with this girl, man. That's probably why you more invested in it. You probably the one who put him on with the old girl. I'm not wishing that on you. Exactly. I'm always with the color purple. But yeah, so it's you got to continue to help him understand, bruh, you are more than what happened to you. Okay? And that'll help go into what I would consider to be in step 2. I never tell people what to do. I just give you options of what you see can be done. What'd you say? Dakari Kofi Thomas, he said, as his friend continue to reinforce the pain and heartache will pass. Let him process and remind him from time to time that you have his 6. Exactly. You got to let people know that you got their back. But and like my brother-in-law Cece said, I can't have your 6 if you don't have your 12. So give him the space to walk forward, to continue to move forward, and let him know that you behind him and you supporting him. And that'll help him shift into step 2, which would be shift from focus on being chosen and focus on being whole. Because now he may feel as if, like, I'm not being chosen. I'm nobody's cup of tea. But like, if he realizes and understands how of a complete package that you help him understand he can be, or that he is, now he can focus on being whole and less on being chosen by anybody. Right? Because you can get stuck in the mindset, of not being anyone's cup of tea. Like, and let me tell you, forget being someone's cup of tea. Worry about being the entire meal. What does that consist of? Sometimes, you can be different pieces of this meal. You can be you can help people and be who they need to be in different parts of this. It's not all one thing or not. It's not win or lose. It's all about how much effort you put into it. And if you put focus and effort on you being your friend, I'm saying, you focus on him being like a whole individual himself, then it's less focused on being picked by anyone. The goal isn't to rush back into like the being desirable. It's to rebuild himself. That's what you want him to do. Because right now he's crushed. And when you crush, Humpty Dumpty had to they tried to put him back together again. In some versions, they were successful. But we got more ways of helping now. Being real friends, stepping up. Men speaking to their friends as men like, hey, bro, how do you feel about this? This is what I'm going through. Again, that's where Holla at the Homie came from. Men not really talking about how we feel with each other. It's not about being soft. It's more about being heard and being understood from somebody who thinks similarly to you. Metaphysically and things like that. Like, it's certain things that chemicals inside our body that cause certain reactions in the world. Same on the other side that we don't understand. So a response coming from the other side don't always give us the answer we're looking for. It may give us portions, but it doesn't always fill in the blank. And then sometimes we need that blank from the other side because there's portions of us that we're not understanding that the world still has to offer. So I'm not saying don't talk to anybody. Don't have him talk to anybody. Hopefully he's talking to his female friends as well. Hopefully they're encouraging him the way you are encouraging him. We have to be able to talk about each other. It's about helping him build himself back up so that when he does step back out there, when he does get back in there, it's from a place of confidence and not from insecurity. That's the big difference. When you can walk somewhere with your shoulders back and your chin parallel with your path, man, listen, that's a different feeling. Anybody who's ever been incarcerated and received a letter from me, that's one thing I always tell them. You know what I mean? Until I breathe on you again, keep your chin parallel with your path. So you determine on how high your head is held. So now if he's walking back into this with confidence and not with insecurity, now I think he can step bigger with the big dogs in this regard, right? Encourage him to focus on what makes him happy outside of relationships. What lights him up? What does he do? Does he hoop? Does he like to shoot guns in the woods? What lights him up? What encourages him? What makes him feel alive? If he pours into that, the confidence will follow. Anytime you're doing something that you're good at or that you enjoy, would you say you was about to say the same thing? Watch and make sure he's fully recovered because he might make a bad decision in the next relationship. Even worse, he'll punish the next female and so on and so on. Exactly. He has to make sure he's back whole first. But helping him realize where those pieces come from, helping him highlight the things that make him that way. If you're his friend, we know what make our friends laugh and happy and smile. If they are real friends or our family or our chosen Zen group, our chosen tribe, help him and reinforce those things that make him happy, that make him alive. Ask him if you don't know what are the things that still make you, what is it that gives you the zoom in the morning? It could be something that that he did with the fiance that he just unable to do now because he doesn't feel right about it. And he'd be like, well, I used to do this with blankety blank and it really gave me enlightenment. We're like, well, let's manifest this in a different way. Y'all used to go to the gym? Okay, cool. Bet. Now I can, find something that goes along with that. If you ain't into the gym, find him somebody who is, find out what it is that lights him up, that gives him that zoom, puts the fire under his ass, right? And continue to encourage those things. That would be the things I would do to help shift his focus from being chosen to being back to himself, to his whole self again. That's very important because, again, like I talk about this in relationships when, a lot of times like people don't want, like you said, because coming from you is just not clicking with him. You said that in the end of your letter, right? I was talking to my cousin about this a couple of weeks ago about sometimes how when our women talk to us, it don't really click with us because it's, and it's not really about what they say or how they say it. It's just the fact that it's not clicking because it's coming from a place where they're used to hearing it from. We're used to hearing it. So it's almost like a record repeat. So we're not receiving it because what we're seeing is 180 degrees in front of us. But yet they're taking it from a 360 degree perspective where they can see things all around us that we don't really see. And if we start to receive that in a way where like, it's a different view, it's a different perspective. You don't have to adopt that perspective, but to at least acknowledge it would be helpful in a lot of ways. This is the same thing for your friend. Help him understand and acknowledge, other options of how people see him opposed to how he may see himself now. And then, by doing that, you do the next step, I would say, getting him in the right rooms. Get him in the right rooms. They'd be like, what does that mean? Get him in the right rooms. Sometimes the best way to shake off self-doubt is to be around people who see you. Ooh, this weekend was a big telltale in that for me. I was around some of my most forward-thinking friends that I have. Some of my most financial forward friends that I have. And they sacrificed their time just to come rock with me. So putting me in a room with people who see me has invigorated me in a way. So as I'm reading this letter from you, I can't do anything but help you by what helped me. And by putting him in rooms with people who see him, surrounding him with people who remind him of his worth, can go an extremely long way. You understand what I'm saying? Like whether it's through faith, whether it's through friendships, or whether it's through career or even shared experiences, put him in rooms with people who see him and he'll start to remember who he is. He'll start to remember what he's about. If you have to, take him out. Introduce him to new circles of people. Get him in spaces where he's appreciated as a man and not just being appreciated as a potential partner. That's imperative. Because what these things sound is his masculine confidence or his bravado or his machismo has taken a blow. Not saying it's gone, but it's taken a blow. And that type of pain, that type of hit, that type of cut is hard to just bounce back from at times. So you're doing the right thing, concerned friend. You're continuing with your concern. You're continuously being who you are to him. And in being that, you're allowing him space to reintroduce him to himself. But by, letting him feel it, but not letting him live in the pain. By, shifting the focus from being chosen to being back whole. By putting him in rooms with people that see him, that respect him and appreciate him as a man, as a person, as a human, and not just as a potential partner. Because that's added pressure that none of us really need, because now we're wondering what people think and not allowing them to think freely what they do on their own. Because if somebody thinks they're a potential partner, it's a whole lot of gavel banging going on in their head. We judging everything, whether we say it outwardly or not. We are doing it. We are judging it. So put him in rooms where people see him as who he is as an individual, and not so much as who can we hook him up with. You know what I mean? Don't go inviting him to everybody's wedding as a +1. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Don't do that. Unless that's what he's looking for. Unless you're like, man, I need to get back out there. And what's up with the wedding circuit? You know what I'm saying? Like if he trying to jump out there like that later on, but right now it doesn't seem like that's the right space for him, because he's not allowing himself to see who he is from what I say. The next thing is that mirror talk that he has to have. Now you got to get him in the mirror, because at some point, after all your talking, after all your encouragement, at some point, he has to do the inner work. You can hype him up all day, be like, man, let me tell you, dog, introducing, standing 6'3", 225, making $250 a year, the deacon of your favorite church. You can gas him up all you want to, pump him up all you want to. If he doesn't believe it, it won't stick. Until he believes that again, until he understands that within me is all that y'all say, until he believes it himself, it won't stick. So the challenge is you got to get him to look in the mirror every morning. Even if you got to give him a mantra. You know what I'm saying? Therapy. Okay, so anybody, I'm always a big advocate for therapy. So if he hasn't been to therapy yet, so make sure you guide him in that direction, because therapy gonna give him something like I'm about to say, give him something corny like I'm about to say. It may seem corny. You know what I mean? Tell him, look in the mirror and be like, my future is bigger than my past. Something small as that. My future is bigger than my past. And you may be like, oh, there's some cornball-ish to say, but words have power. And I'm a firm believer in that. Words truly have power. And when you start speaking them over yourself, when you start believing them truly over yourself, your mind does like a race car. It goes into that next gear. It shifts. Your mind shifts into overdrive on that thought. If I keep telling myself, oh, I can cross over anybody, knowing at this point I don't have handles. But if I keep telling myself I can cross over anybody, eventually when I step on the court, anybody that comes my way, I'm going to cross them over, because I have told myself that. So in my head, I am planning, making my way to see it, till my mind shifts, right? Knowing I don't have handles at this point. But if I say it, continuously, then I know that I can achieve it. Because the words have power. I'm gonna think about it. I'm about to go get a basketball now. I'm going to Big 5. What's up, number one neighbor ever? Nicole 56 of this thing. I'm going to get a basketball from Big 5 today. And I'm going to start practicing. Y'all going to see me dribbling down the street. And somebody going to come try to steal the ball. And I'm going to cross you over. And it's going to be on somebody's TikTok. We're going viral because I believed it. I said it here today on the 29th of January. No, I'm just saying. But, you got to tell your friend this. Put him in the mirror. Make sure he has that talk with himself. Even Michael Jackson, the GOAT, said it. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking him to change his ways. And that's where it starts. And he's not going to believe it until he looks himself really in the eye. Like I'm looking in this camera right now, right? And if this camera was the mirror, and I'm looking right in the mirror, and I'm telling myself, my future is bigger and better than my past. Then I start to see myself, the reflection of myself, and that person is telling me this. That person is telling the person that looks just like me that this is what it is. And that inner mantra now becomes a lifestyle. But you have to put him in the mirror. Tell him to tell himself, I'm worthy of love. I'm more than what happened to me. My future is bigger than my past. I'm worthy of love. I'm more than what happened to me. My future is bigger than my past. And after he repeats that a few times, then it becomes like a song in his head. And those are bars he's spitting to himself. And now, that's his favorite tune. You know how you feel when your favorite song come on. You move different when your favorite song is on. You sing it differently. Even though the notes don't always agree with your thoughts, you still gonna hit them the way you gonna hit them. So he needs that part of the boost. If you can guide him in that. Because again, you don't want to push him in any direction before he's ready to move. You know? Because we are dealing with betrayal. And as I stated earlier, betrayal shakes you to your foundation. Betrayal is blindsiding. It's one of those things that you cannot prepare for. If you're prepared for betrayal, it's not betrayal. It's just what you figured would happen. If you're prepared for it. Nobody can be or is prepared for betrayal. It's in the definition of the word. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, this shook him to his foundation. So now you, like I said before, have a 360-degree perspective of what he's got going on, how he's moving in response to said betrayal. So you got to help him make sure that he understands that it's okay that right now he's questioning everything, but he has to start to process the pain. And you can't force him in that, right? But you can guide your friend. Help him understand that he is worthy of that love that he questions whether he is or not. So yeah, he's got to process that. You know, but you got to help him understand that it's not a permanent process. It's not something that he has to stick with and stay with. You know, sometimes it takes pulling out a nose hair to make people stop thinking about a broken finger. You know what I'm saying? Like, they finger broke, but you pull a nose hair and they're going to think about that pain more than the finger broken, right? So even if you have to be like, man, you done been through worse before. You done been through other pain before. And I'm not comparing. I'm not saying, well, one is worse or better than the other, but you've been through other pain before and you've bounced back prior to her, while she was with you, and now after she's gone. I'm not saying it's easy. Would you say have a real conversation with him and listen actively, hype him up and ask him, can you support him in how you can support him in his journey? That's a very important question that people, even I forget to mention sometimes. Sometimes when you're helping somebody, the best way to help them is to ask them, how can I help you in this journey? You know, and sometimes people don't want you to ask, be like, well, you know what I need and stuff like that. Be like, but it's different. Yes, I'm here for you and I want to do X. I want to do Y. I want to do Z. But how can I support you? Not help you. How can I support you in this journey? Meaning, you know, you may not want my money, but you may want my ear. How can I support you in this journey? What would be the biggest uplift from me as your friend in this journey? Because I see more in you than you're feeling about yourself in this particular subject. At least that's what you're saying, Mr. Concerned Friend. You said right here in your letter, like, you've tried everything. You know, you've hyped him up, reassured him, encouraged him to get back out there, but your words just bounce off. He's convinced that he's not desirable, or that dating again is all around pointless, altogether pointless, it says. But you say that's a good one and a great way for clarification. Exactly. Yes. That's a way you can ask. Ask them how. That was a good point there, Lucy Lowe. Ask them, how can I support you in this journey? What can my role be in this particular one? Like, I know you may not want to hear me talk all day, even though I think that's how I help the best. That may not be what's helping you. You can't always help people the way you think that your help works. You have to find out how you being you can help, if that makes sense. Your talk doesn't help everybody. Like, my words don't help everybody. But again, I may put you in the room with somebody who may help you. My job is to help you focus on being whole and less on being chosen. That's what I'm advising Mr. Concerned Friend here. Not letting your friend live there and dwell there, and then having them face themselves in that mirror. You're doing the right thing by being in this corner. And a lot of us, or have experienced times where we felt like there was no one in our corner, or that, the people in our corner were there for not the reasons that were helping us at that particular time. Like they're trying their best to be helpful. A lot of times people, they be like, man, they try, they doing their best. They trying to be helpful, but we don't vocalize exactly how they could actually help, or they don't ask how they actually could support through this journey. And that's an encouraging way to try to add the caulk to the cracks, for lack of better phraseology. That's a way for you to kind of smooth out the rough areas, of the situation. Because like I said before, it's not about rushing back to dating to prove that he's desirable or anything like that. It's more about focusing on what makes him happy outside of relationships, and not focusing on trying to make sure he feels desirable. You want to make sure he builds himself back up first. And so that way, when he's whole, then he can go into it happy. What'd you say there, Donovan Brooks? I had to help a friend. I played a low-key wingman. I found a group of ladies that appeared cool, and then brought him in. And that slowly pulled him back. Sometimes you have to put them out there in the environments to see that they are not a lot less desirable as they think they are. Exactly. That's another thing. Like you say, put him in the right rooms. You put him in the right room. You got him out there. Excellent point, Donovan Brooks. You got him out there. You put him in the room. Be like, hey, man, you're not the bum that you got, that you think you see in the mirror. You think that you're not worth any of this attention, but you are, man. You are. Even if you were on the other side of this, and even if your friend, I'm going to say it like this, Mr. Concerned Friend, even if your friend were the one, because you said his fiance cheated on him, right? Even if he cheated on her and was down in the dumps and felt bad afterwards, you still got to try to encourage people to build themselves back up. If he feels he's not worthy because he feel like, people don't look at him the same as a relationship partner. Either way, this coin goes on either side. So if in the event that you were, encouraging him to get back out there after he was the wrongdoer, then again, it's not about the message, it's about the delivery. It's not about him getting back out there just out there. It's about him getting back out there with the couth that he felt like he lost in the last relationship. And would you say, Lucy Lowe, remind him that he dodged a bullet? Exactly. That's another thing. Now, if he's the one that's got cheated on, then remind him, you dodged a bullet. You know what I mean? You dodged a bullet. So you found out then that before you walked down the aisle that things weren't as trustworthy as you thought they were. That doesn't mean you don't trust yourself anymore, don't trust your own judgment anymore. That just means that you just have to evaluate how much trust you put into people in a certain way in a certain amount of time. It's just about reevaluating. We all bump our head from time to time. If you ain't never bumped your head, you've never moved around freely. And I mean that literally. Like, you ever bumped your head on the cabinet, on the car door, somewhere. Everybody bumped their head somewhere in life, literally or figuratively. So it's just all about, like, now how you navigate to try to prevent that same pain from reoccurring. That's what learning lessons are all about. Trying to prevent, like, if you go through the same thing twice and expect different results, that's insanity. But if you go through something and you learn from it, and you may go through the same thing again, but now your move and response will be different because you've learned from this. So take this as a learned lesson, my friend, or friend of concerned friend. Take it as a learned lesson, because now you've got extra ammunition to go along with the fact that you're a catch that your friend has described you as. He said it. He said you got looks. He said you got some bread. You God-fearing. That means your health. He said you're in good health. That means you're really not a risk factor. And if you got a full head of hair, no, I'm just joking. That's just some of us out here faking. And I'm just saying, man, you dodged a bullet by not being hurt by someone else in that regard, by not being hurt by that person continuously. And now it's time for you to, pick yourself up and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. But when you're ready. But know that you don't have to be chosen. Just be your whole self. And understand that when your friend is putting you in these rooms, that he's not doing it to show that you can be a great potential partner. And friend, Mr. Concerned Friend, don't do it to try to put him around people that he could possibly go out with. Because that gets old, man. Like, I remember being the single friend, and they would bring me around people. They'd be like, hey, she's single, hey, she's single, hey, she's single. Everybody want to put me on somebody. Everybody's trying to hook me up with somebody, right? And that part wasn't cool either. Like, that gets annoying. So put them in rooms and make sure you're in rooms where you feel appreciated for who you are and not whose you could be. And I hope that makes sense, because, once you do that, then you feel comfortable with doing that inner work, looking in the mirror, asking yourself the questions, telling yourself, reaffirming to yourself that you are more than what happened to you and that your future is bigger than your past. And when you got that concept down, then I believe you'll be in good shape. So to Concerned Friend, again, man, you're doing the right thing, again, for being in this corner. Remember that you absolutely cannot force him to heal. And you can only support him. While he does the work. You can't do it for him. You keep showing up. You keep reminding them. But you can't carry the weight by yourself, my man. Would you say be healthy and whole? There's someone for everyone. That's true, Nicole. That is true. Being healthy and whole is someone out there for everybody. You just got to keep showing up for your friend, Concerned Friend. Again, but you can't carry the weight all by yourself. He's got to want to step back into the world for himself. And when he does, it's a wrap, like 16 bars, baby. What'd you say? I hated that. Don't nobody want other single friend of the homies girl. You have to tell your homies, the old lady, her friends ain't cute. That'd be the other thing. Oh, my goodness. That'd be the other thing. They always trying to hook you up with the friend that ain't the cutest friend out the group. That's why they ain't got nobody. But that's another point for another day. But he's got to be willing to step back into the world for himself, my man. So, and if he does, like I say, it's a rap like 16 bars. He's going to take the L out of lover. It's over. Because a man who is healed and confident and walking in his worth is unstoppable. Woo! I think that's all for today, y'all. I'm gonna take that and leave it right there on that bar for y'all. So until the next time I breathe on y'all, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I've been 360 the Poet. Thank y'all for holla at the homie. Until next time, in a minute.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot 7025fm.com.